We are learning to use commas. So the first thing that we need to ask ourselves is, what is a comma actually for? So you might remember being told that when you're writing you should put a comma when you want the reader to pause. Now while that's kind of true, commas are actually much more complicated than that. Commas are used to separate chunks of information. So the first way that you might see commas used in a sentence is when you are making a list of things. Like this one here. There were lollies, sandwiches, ice cream and cake at the party. So we need to separate out some of those pieces of information by putting commas in to make a list. There were lollies, comma, sandwiches, comma, ice cream, comma, and cake at the party. So now that I've separated out all of the things on my list, it makes it a little bit easier to read. There were lollies, sandwiches, ice cream, and cake at the party. Commas also separate chunks of information that we might be joining together, like when we have two simple sentences and we join them together using a conjunction. Here's an example. It's cold outside. I can't find my jacket. If we wanted to join those pieces of information together, we could write them into a sentence with a conjunction in the middle like this. It's cold outside and I can't find my jacket. So the conjunction, the joining word that we've added in is and. Now, if we wanted to separate the chunks of information, first we have to figure out what the chunks of information are. So the first piece of information is that it's cold outside, and the second piece of information is that the person couldn't find their jacket. So if we're joining two pieces of information with a conjunction, like and, then we put a comma here to separate them. It's cold outside, and I can't find my jacket. That way, when the reader's reading it, then they know to take a little bit of a pause there. Here are some more examples of when two sentences are joined together with a conjunction and a comma. We're going to highlight where the conjunction and the comma are. Sam tossed the ball and Katie caught it. And is our conjunction and our comma comes beforehand. Dad cooked dinner and Mum cleaned it up. On Monday we played soccer and on Tuesday we rode our bikes. So in each one of these sentences you can see that there's a conjunction that joins two sentences and a comma beforehand. So the next time that we use a comma when we're separating chunks of information is when we start with a simple sentence. So this simple sentence here says Sam tossed the ball. We can add in some more information to that. So here we've got our original sentence, Sam tossed the ball, with some added information about where he was. So our new sentence is, when he went to the park, Sam tossed the ball. Now I'm going to use my comma to separate my chunks of information. So we have our chunk that's our original sentence, and now we have a new chunk of information about where Sam was. And I'm going to put my comma here in the middle. When he went to the park, comma, Sam tossed the ball. The sentence might also look like this. Sam tossed the ball when he went to the park. I might choose to add my extra information at the end of the sentence instead of at the start. So it's still going to be exactly the same. We've got two chunks of information, so I'm going to separate them with a comma in the middle. It doesn't matter which way around your pieces of information are, your comma always goes in the middle of them to separate the chunks. So, commas separate chunks of information in lots of different ways. The first way is when pieces of information are joined together in a list. The second time is if you're joining two simple sentences with a conjunction. And the last time that we use a comma to separate chunks of information is if you're adding more information onto a sentence that you've got already.